Hello and welcome to Huddersfield Town's preview show ahead of our Sky Bet Championship game at Preston North End. To help us preview the game and talk a little bit about life in England, I'm delighted to say I'm joined by fellow Spaniards Alex Vallejo and Pipa, alongside Stephen Chicken from the Huddersfield Examiner. Are you all okay?
Thank you, yeah.
Excellent. Pippa, I have to say, first of all, you're looking great in those glasses.
Cheers. Yeah, it's something when I am in home or in the hotel I need, because I use contact lens to play. So it's not only for the cameras.
Alex, obviously, you've been here a little bit of a shorter time than Pippa, but how have you found the move to England and life in Yorkshire? I know you haven't been able to do too much other than football, but how have you found it so far?
It's a really big change about Spain and England. I think that people think the same. That changed a lot of things between the weather, the lifestyle, and if you add this the COVID situation, you can watch a lot of things of the city. You always stay on your flat watching TV, training, and again every day is the same. It's true that people stay here 2 months more than me, but for me it's easy that I arrive here, another Spanish person that can help me with everything, and it's true that people help me a lot. I never say it to him, but I think this.
How did you help Alex, Pippa?
Because when you change from maybe not the club or the rules to play, because many times the training and the matches are similar in every games, but it's true that when I arrive here, I call him and say, where do you live? Give me some areas of Leeds that you think that's better to live with my wife. And another thing is the normal day that we can stay speaking in Spanish, that when you don't have a high level of English, you can talk about another things.
Steve, their English is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, to be fair. I think I read recently Rolando Aarons was learning Spanish as well, so I don't know how his Spanish is, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it must
Rolando?
Yeah.
Rolando, I think it's not learning, huh? I think he don't speak anything in Spanish.
There you go. I saw an interview with him where he said he was learning, so it obviously didn't stick.
Pippa, how did you find it, the move to England?
A little bit the same of Vallejo. When I listen about Vallejo comes to the club, I'm feeling better because I have another Spanish player in the team, and that's Vallejo talk. We can speak Spanish, talk about everything. We help us for everything, and yeah, a little bit the same of he talks before.
You're a big fan of the snow, weren't you, Pippa?
No, at the moment, because I'm starting to hate a little bit, because to drive to these things, it's not good.
This might sound like a really ridiculous question, but have you two ever kind of seen snow before? Is this like your first experience of snow?
No. In Barcelona, maybe six years ago or 8, maybe. This time in Barcelona, I see snow and a big snow in the city, and yeah, but here it's more normal. Every single day with a little bit of snow, or the weather it's totally different of Spain, because in Spain in summer or in these days it's cold, but you can see the sun. Here,
but
some
not
days
in Spain everything is like the city is close to the sea. because Pipa is from Barcelona, and you know how is Barcelona. Good weather, it's more funny. So, but I'm from the Basque Country, and the weather is really similar, like this. It's true that 2 weeks before, I think that the weather was terrible, that too cold. But the rest of the year is, the cloudy days, not a lot of sun, raining maybe 2 days per week. But I think that is good because for us play football with this weather is better than play with a lot of hot.
It's interesting that, Steve, isn't it? I remember a few kind of over World Cup discussions and things like that. Players have come out and said how the weather can kind of have a big impact on how they can play and how you can play a string of games in a row. It's interesting that Alex just said that.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I think the UK, it tends to be relatively mild. I think because we get a bit of everything, we think that it's all mad, but our heat isn't particularly hot, our snow isn't particularly deep, so it is pretty mild all around. It's been a very cold winter this year, to be fair, as well. I think it's the coldest winter we've had for a long time, so it's not always like this.
They'll be pleased to know. We spoke about obviously the guys settling into England, but on the football pitch, Steve, they both settled in quite well, haven't they, straight away?
Yeah, Pip obviously came in and made an immediate impact, and impressed everyone straight off the bat. I think the fans straight away, saw what he was about and sort of took into their hearts immediately. And Alex's journey was a little bit, obviously having not played for a while, took a bit longer to get into the side, but I think people have been really impressed over the last few games. Despite the results, it's been sort of one of the bright spots of January is seeing Alex come into the team and seeing what he can offer on the ball.
How have you two found playing with each other and next to each other on the pitch, especially obviously Alex, with you being a right-sided centre half, and over the last couple of weeks, and obviously Pippa at right wing?
For me, it's true that is different situation than Pipa, because Pipa come here to stay in first division, play matches. He come here, sign a contract for a few years. It's different. We stay 8 months without him, arrive him, change the team, country, adapt to the way to train that here maybe is really more different than in other clubs. And I think that my situation was going to be the situation that was, because I think, okay, the first few months, I'm sure that I only going to train, and then maybe in January I start to play a few minutes to help the team in situation. But if I will be honest, that I don't think that I'm going to play a lot. But now, Hoggy injury, Silver injury, Stearman, a lot of injuries that the coach has to adapt the matches with the players that he has. So for me, it's true that I feel good on the pitch, but I only want that the team win 3 points because we need it.
How did you find it, Pippa? Obviously, on the pitch, adapting to a new style of football, and of course adapting to Carlos Corberán's training regimes.
My adaptation, I think, it's a little bit different because my style, it's more like this style of football, like more directly, more box to box, more runnings, and that's the reason why I'm adapting better than maybe Vallejo, because he comes to don't play and it's different. And yeah, I'm feeling really well because I understand good the ideas of Carlos Corberan in the when I arrived, and yeah, of course, I'm feeling good on the pitch. It's true that has a hard season because too many matches in a row. In 2 days, we have game every week, and yeah, I'm feeling good, happy. We need get and add 3 points as soon as possible. And yeah, for the moment, I'm feeling well and good.
I think that maybe the worst difficulty about the championship, the matches each 2 days, a lot of time in the season, because if you have a really long squad, maybe is better, or you can play better with a long squad. But for us, I think that this is the worst thing for us.
Especially with the injuries there, Steve. I mean, it's well documented how many players are unavailable. Alex touched upon some of the guys that are unavailable at the moment, and that kind of injury list would trim down any size squad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. And, I think a lot of teams around the country are struggling with similar issues. And as we've sort of touched on before, when even Liverpool are having problems, you know that it's not just you. I think Carlos obviously has that very intense style, both on and off the training pitch, which I think even Carlos would acknowledge does sort of increase the risk of potential injuries and mean that things have to be managed very carefully. And when it's sort of a cyclical thing, because if you get a couple of injuries, suddenly you find players have to start playing more, and then they're at greater risk of injury, and then it can quite quickly spiral from there. It seems to be that we get a lot of injuries in the same positions at the moment as well. We'll get all the wingers wiped out, or all the centre backs, and you have all the central midfielders and no wingers kind of thing. So yeah, it's funny how it goes.
Yeah, it has been unlucky. I mean, Pippa, I want to throw you back to when you joined the club, and if you can remember when we were doing goal graphics, and you said to us, no, we don't need goal graphics. I don't score goals. What happened there?
That's true, but sometimes the luck appears. No, it's part of the game. And when you try, so a lot of times with the left foot. So I think after you shot 50 times, you have to score some, no? That's true. Yeah.
Have you always had that in your game?
Yeah.
Is that something you enjoy doing? Everyone's been able to see your kind of attacking ability down the right hand side, but you seem to love it when you can cut inside, especially onto your left foot.
Yeah, always. I think in the left side I can play too, because I can drive inside, and Vallejo can play as a right back.
But Pipa is right back, not winger, right back. Defend. And then maybe a score, but Pipa shoot 2 or 3 times per match. No, that's possible.
Yeah.
He has been a good attacking threat for us, though, Steve, down that right hand side.
Yeah, Pippa, was there a point halfway through the season where they told you to stop shooting? Because I noticed your numbers, you were having, as Alex says, 2, 3, 4 shots, and then suddenly it was sort of none or one. Were you told to sort of look for the pass instead at some point?
I don't know why, because I think I'm a player likes attack a lot, and I don't know.
No, I think that Pipa, in my opinion, dribbling really good.
Yeah.
So if you have 1v1 on one side, many times it's better that you leave space to him, that you know that if he starts to drive, usually won this challenge. So the times that he can shoot is because he drive and he go inside, or if he don't shoot, he cross. And I think that he gives to the team a lot of things in attack.
Yeah, I was just about to say actually that the dribbling stats, and I've been looking at them while we've sort of been on, and yeah, more successful dribbles than anyone in the Huddersfield team this year, and more attempts at dribbles as well, to be fair. But it's just over a 50% success rate, which actually for dribbling is pretty good. It might not sound amazing, but that's pretty good going.
Yeah, and Alex, you almost scored your first goal for Huddersfield Town away at Bristol City, the effort that hit the bar. Still waiting though.
But this only happened one time per season. Until the next year, we have to wait. But it's true that people said before about the lucky. It's only nothing.
Vallejo has to shoot more, like me. If not, no chance.
But it's true that this strength for me in 2 times in one match is that I feel maybe a little bit of lucky to score 1 goal maybe, but how is the situation now that everything not happen like we want, but we have to try again and stay focused on the next match.
Yeah, you never know. We'll keep hoping for you, Alex. There's one thing that I wanted to ask you about in particular. We noticed after Fraser Campbell scored against Swansea in the celebrations, you stroked his face.
Me?
Yes, straight down. What's that about?
Nothing, because people and Fraser are watching between them, and I say, come on, because in this situation, in my opinion, when you score 1 goal, that you lose the stress and you start to enjoy a little bit more. But playing this season, a lot of feelings in the matches, because you score, draw, you start losing. Is a lot of feelings on the pitch.
It's good to see, though, isn't it, Steve? I mean, how kind of close the guys are, and ultimately how much they care about this football club and winning games.
Yeah, I think it's sort of quite notable that even from the fans, even with the fans that are being quite critical at the moment, and you can understand that with the results recently, I don't think anyone is sort of questioning the togetherness or the commitment. I don't think anyone is, and that we know that happens quite quickly sometimes. We saw it frankly towards the end of the second Premier League season, that people started wondering about that, and we're not at that point. I think people can see that the players all care and are all sort of working for each other, and yeah, it's just fine tuning, I think, a few things to try and get back to winning ways.
I want to throw back to the Swansea City game, Alex, and obviously you were the right side of a back three, but yourself and Jonathan Hogg seem to have a really good relationship in those roles together, creating space, helping dictate the play and keep the play moving. How much did you enjoy playing in the same team and next to him, and how did you both benefit each other's games?
Me?
Yeah.
It's true that until I arrived here, I didn't know Hoggy. But when you stay with him on the bench, on the dress room that is close to me, on the pitch, how he trained, why the people love Hoggy. Because on the pitch, fight a lot, every chance, he win every battle, he likes go to the battle, win matches, and I think that he's your captain. That's true, because when you are the captain of a team, you have to show a lot of skill, not only the technical skill with the ball. He show character, the energy to win. For us, I think that's a really important player.
They combined really nicely, didn't they, Steve, in that Swansea game? Like I say, just helping us dictate the play and ultimately keeping the tempo high.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have that. We've talked on our podcast before. It's almost like a lower league Mascherano and Alonso type situation where you've got, you know, Hoggy's doing the hard graft off the ball and, you know, biting at people, and he's, you know, he's there to offer a huge amount off the ball, not to, you know, say that he's not decent on it as well, but, and you've got Alex there to offer a bit of quality, a bit of silk, and, you know, that passing range that we've seen, which has been really impressive at times. I do wonder if Town maybe had another number 10 besides Alex Pritchard, whether the 4-2-3-1 might be, you know, in Carlos's thoughts a bit more. I know he's tried it previously and sort of mixed results, but, you know, I think it'd be interesting to see Alex and Hogg in the midfield together.
It certainly would be. I mean, Alex, a lot of fans have been watching, obviously over the last kind of few weeks, and they've been really impressed with your passing, your ability to dictate the game and dictate the plays. Is that something that's kind of always been in your locker from obviously your Spanish roots?
I think that maybe I'm not a different player because I'm not the fastest, the strongest. But so I have to think maybe quickly to, hey, Pipa, what happened?
He tried. Sometimes he told me, Pipa, go inside, let me the side to run.
So I have to adapt to the situation. You know, the intensity of championship matches are really high. So I have to stay thinking of the situation of my body to take this advantage, to play short, to play long. So I think that maybe there are my strong qualities, and it's true that I'm not too much intensity in the press. I don't steal a lot of balls, but you know, different players that I can play with Hoggy together. Yeah, for me, of course, any problem, but we have to know the style that we have, that to adapt to the other teams and try to get the best first 11 that we can have.
And obviously, we come into this game against Preston North End off the back of a disappointing result to Derby County, Pippa. You've just come out of a long meeting with Carlos. The whole team has to analyse that game and what went wrong. What do you think went wrong in that game, and what do you put that down to?
Against Derby.
Yeah.
We are talking about this in this meeting, and I think we have to avoid a little bit more our mistakes on the pitch, because for me the game was in the best conditions to get the result that we want, and we don't know in the pitch to get advantage that them give to us. And I think that's the key of this match, because they score after not a big mistake, but a consequence of one mistake, a small mistake, another small mistake, and they only give the ball for us, and we don't know how to unbalance them. And I think that's the reason of the result. Of course, we have to compete better, and we know we have to know that the matches has to depend on us, not of the opponent. And yeah, that's not the result that we expect, but we have to know that we have game in 2 days, and we have to prepare our minds and keep focus on the competitive mind, on the determination, quality of each player of us, and try to get the result.
The mindset is really key here, Alex, isn't it? In terms of not getting too high when we win, like we did against Swansea, but not getting too low either, and disappointed when we do lose against sides like Derby.
Yeah, and it's true that always when you lose a match, you think that everything was wrong, that you play bad, that you don't press good. But when you analyze the match, you think that you did a lot of things well. And like Pipa said, you have to avoid your mistakes, small mistakes. And when you play each 2 days, like the same when you win, you can stay excited about, we won. You have to stay focused on the next time, on the next match. We need to have the strong mind to can play these matches, focus and avoid mistakes, because each match depends on small difference on the winning or the lose. So we have to stay focused, and this is the reason that the meeting was too long, because for Carlos it's really important that the people has the strong mind to affront this period of the season, because you know that in the last 10 matches can happen everything. So you have to be ready, not only the first 11, the people that arrive to the pitch from the bench.
And obviously, we have a chance to put that right. Steve, against Preston. It'd be an interesting game, this, won't it? I mean, we come into this game not with the best away form, and on the flip side, Preston at home, they've only won 4 games this year and have the 3rd worst home form in the Sky Bet Championship.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos always talks about he's not interested in home and away, not the soap, although I'm sure he's not an avid viewer. But I think it's more the stylistic challenge, to be honest, because obviously Derby play a certain way. Preston, I think, are quite similar. And then you got Birmingham and Cardiff after that as well, who are also, very compact, rigid, defend well, safety first, I think is probably the term, and robust. And there's no sort of hiding the fact that those are the teams that Town have struggled to play against, certainly sort of this half of the season. So it is a big challenge. And I think the key probably is just to see a bit more variety in the attack, because it seems like, well, we know from the numbers that Town start games really well. The first 15 minutes, they're one of the best in the division. But then things sort of peter out, and we've not seen a goal in the last 15 minutes of a game since the turn of the new year. So I think it's trying to add sort of more strings to your bow. I mean, I doubt that, I imagine that at time of recording, without confirmation of this, that Yaya Sanogo, it'll be too early for him to play a part, but he could, when he comes into the side in the coming weeks, offer something different and offer a different dimension. And I think that's really important. But I think it's also on the players who are already in the side to go into the games and be a bit bolder and be willing to try something different that maybe they're not comfortable with, because that's how you catch the opposition by surprise.
What do you expect from Preston, Pippa? They're very physical side, aren't they?
Yeah, always that I think Vallejo learned too about this competition is the every single game demand our 100%, because it's a big challenge for the team, and from the individual point of view was hard, the games that you cannot stay relaxed and put your mind in other things. And we know this, and we know that the next game versus Bristol, it's gonna be hard. We know that all the games demand in this season, and we are preparing our minds for this to keep this mentality and the positive mind of us, and prepare the better possible for the match.
Yeah, we spoke about our away form a little bit, Alex. We haven't won away from home since October. It's something that we really need to change fast.
Because now you can search situation, because it's true that we have problems to win out of John Smith Stadium, that we have to adapt without important players. But like Pipa say, I don't know Preston. It's true, because I think that I'm not here the first match versus them, so I have to see the video, analyze how are. But it's true that the teams know that we play good with the ball. So a lot of matches in John Smith Stadium, you know that the first 15 minutes we play really good, and after this, the opponents close to his pitch, defense, and try to attack in the counter-attack. So I think that maybe was a really similar match. That I'm sure that big strikers, big center backs, wingers really fast. Another championship match, but it's true that after this meeting we have to stay focused on the target that is get the 3 points, and we don't have another chance. We have to stay ready to fight, to not concede goals, avoid the mistakes, and try to give our 100%.
Scott Sinclair, Steve, has been one of Preston's outstanding players this year. He's scored 8 goals, the top scorer, and he plays down the left-hand side. That'll be a good battle for Pippa.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Yeah, we know he's a very capable player at this level. And yeah, I mean, it's always about individual battles in any football game, but I think especially when you're a defender for Huddersfield Town, and there's a lot of could be turned into a bit of a foot race that as well, you would imagine at times, and that's going to go both ways. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We know the flanks are a key, increasingly key in football these days. So that'll be a fun one to watch as a neutral.
Alex, Pippa, Steve, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you very much for joining us. Town fans, if you're watching, you can purchase a match pass to watch us at Preston North End for £10. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
You.